Who's the mystery villain who nabbed Dwight in the dead of night in the season 2 finale? Despite what the clues suggest, we don't think this guy works for the FBI. Earlier in the finale, FBI headquarters called their Tulsa office about Dwight's case. However, this is very likely just a red herring to set up the show's big season 3 twist. Dwight was actually kidnapped by the CIA, who forces Dwight into working for them in the 3rd season. After the previous 2 seasons saw Dwight wrangling with the Bureau, season 3 isn't going back to that threat again, so the CIA is taking over Dwight's case from the FBI. And if that sounds crazy, the truth is actually stranger than this prediction. In the real world, the CIA and the Mafia have a lot of shared history. As seen in Mafia Spies, both the Paramount Plus docuseries and the non-fiction book it's based on, the CIA offered to pay American gangsters $150,000 to assassinate Fidel Castro back in the 1960s. Based on documents declassified in the last 2 decades, Chicago outfit boss Sam Giancana and the LA Mafia's Johnny Roselli took on the job, but they also refused payment from the CIA. Meanwhile, similar connections are further detailed in non-fiction books like NATO's Secret Armies and Operation Gladio, the unholy alliance between the Vatican, the CIA, and the Mafia. According to historians, the coordination between the CIA and Sicilian mafiosos goes back to after World War II, and it typically involves violent and clandestine means of opposing their shared enemies in Europe and the US. In short, Tulsa King actually has a lot of history to draw from for this season 3 CIA twist. After all, despite Dwight's independent operations in Tulsa, he was technically sent there by the New York Mafia, and even secured a deal with Bill Bevilacqua before season 2 ended. Instead of Vince, the de facto boss of the Invernizzi crime family, the CIA needs someone competent like Dwight under their heel. Combined with Dwight defeating the FBI in court and taking over the Tulsa underworld, the general is the perfect new recruit for another CIA secret army. Moreover, from Dwight's reputation as a maverick to his status as an Invernizzi exile, the CIA also has more than enough plausible deniability should this scheme get declassified. As for what the CIA wants with Dwight, this leads us to our next plot prediction for season 3. Dwight assumed full control of Cal Thresher's marijuana farms in season 2, so in season 3, Uncle Sam steps in to claim his cut. But why stop there when the CIA can subsume Dwight's operations into their intelligence network? Again, this crazy plot theory has actual precedence in real life. As alleged in the 1989 Kerry Committee report, Drugs, Law Enforcement, and Foreign Policy, the CIA was involved in the global narcotics trade, which they used to fund right-wing militias in South and Central America. Conversely, the Tulsa Crew's high-grade kush hardly compares to crack cocaine, which is what the CIA allegedly distributed in the 80s. However, at the federal level, weed remains as illegal as narcotic-level drugs, and this allows the CIA to threaten Dwight with shutting down his farms, should he refuse to cooperate. Moreover, Dwight's crew also left several dead bodies in their rise to power throughout both seasons 1 and 2.
You still think I overplayed my hand?
Mitch and Bigfoot are undoubtedly very thorough when disposing of such evidence, but CIA spooks are simply much more thorough than even these career criminals. After Dwight and his crew just got away with killing the competition in the last seasons, all of his crimes catch up to the general in season 3. Armand may have proven his loyalty to Dwight in season 2, but in the 3rd season, the CIA nabs Armand, tortures him for information, and secures damning evidence against the whole crew. While the FBI failed to indict Dwight for bribery, the CIA steps in to handle Dwight using the only language he understands: mutual leverage. Speaking of which, this leads us to our next big plot prediction. After Dwight was proven not guilty of bribing a federal agent, that agent Stacy got a taste of being exiled too. As punishment for not securing a conviction against Dwight, the ATF transferred Stacy to Anchorage, Alaska. However, this doesn't stop Dwight from contacting Stacy for help in season 3. At this point in the show, Stacy is really the only remaining friend that Dwight has within the government, and due to Stacy's guilt for trying to convict Dwight for bribery, she lends her expertise to Dwight's cause, fighting the CIA's hold on his enterprise. That said, after Margaret finds out that Dwight's been reaching out to his ex, she picks a fight with both Stacy and Dwight. Though Dwight dismisses Margaret's jealousy, explaining that this is a business decision, she's right to be worried. Even as Dwight and Stacy keep their correspondence platonic, their chemistry is anything but. And as this love triangle unfolds, unfolds, Dwight weighs his options: a stable life with Margaret at the ranch, or an exciting affair with his old flame Stacy, who in addition may actually help Dwight stay independent. That said, Dwight will have bigger problems than romance or even the CIA in season 3. As Dwight waits for Tyson to pick him up at Margaret's ranch house, he gets irate that Tyson is late and hasn't even called. After some investigation, however, Dwight, Mitch, and Bigfoot find Tyson's body riddled with bullet holes at the morgue. This is the Triad retaliating for Dwight's crew killing Ming in season 2. Ming was the man secretly behind all the chaos in the last season.
This is the man who caused all the bloodletting.
So when Ming's actions came to light, Dwight's crew promptly put the Triad's representative in Tulsa 6 feet underground. However, Ming clearly wasn't just some henchman, and in season 3, the real cost of killing him gets revealed. Notably, Dwight and his men left no survivors when they trapped Ming, so the Triad doesn't even know that it was Tyson who dealt the killing blow. What they do know is that Dwight treats Tyson like his son, and that Tyson is among the least dangerous members of the Tulsa crew. It's difficult for even the Triad to directly strike Dwight, who could just personally kill any assassin they send. However, killing Tyson isn't just easier, it's also a surefire way of demoralizing the general and his men. In fact, this tragedy leads to the bittersweet ending of Tulsa King season 3, which will see Dwight, the General Manfredi, coming full circle. As Dwight ruminates on Tyson's death, he is forced to face a horrible truth. He may have improved the lives of his crew members, but he also puts them and their families in grave danger. These people used to live boring but relatively peaceful lives in quiet Tulsa.
Before you came along, I had never even held a gun before.
Now organizations like the Chinese Triad and the CIA are breathing down their necks. Moreover, Dwight knows that the government needs just his cooperation, not his crew. Although he may have had some help in Tulsa, it is Dwight himself, not his operation, that's crucial to the CIA's schemes. So Dwight and Stacy figure out the nuclear option. He comes to the CIA with an offer they can't refuse. Dwight allows the government to put him in prison by providing evidence of his crimes and pleading guilty to all charges. But in exchange, the CIA has to give Dwight's crew free reign over their respective legal enterprises. And if the CIA refuses, Dwight threatens to go public about the CIA working with gangsters on domestic soil. Dwight's CIA handler doesn't even threaten him back. They know that if they make Dwight disappear, this classified info immediately goes public. So Dwight closes the deal. It's the one thing he can do to not just get the CIA off his back, but also to prevent any more bloodshed in Tulsa. In Anchorage, Alaska, Stacy packs her bags and gets ready to head home. After finally delivering Dwight, the General Manfredi, to justice, Stacy is welcomed back into the ATF's good graces. Meanwhile, Bodie can finally run the even higher plane without fearing for his life, or without getting bossed around by Dwight. As Mitch sells another expensive secondhand car off the lot, his smile leaves with the customer. Despite his success, Mitch knows that the man who put him there is back in prison. At the Federal Transfer Center in Oklahoma, Dwight awaits his fate and says his final goodbyes to Margaret. Yet while everyone is distraught at the turn of events, Dwight smiles to himself when he's finally alone in his cold jail cell. He's back in prison and likely for the rest of his life. But unlike the first time, Dwight knows he's in here for all the right reasons. What do you think of our plot predictions for Tulsa King Season 3? Tell us in the comments and keep watching Screen Rant.